Morning, Daryl. It's John for the West Coast again. It's 4:22 in the morning, West Coast operational time. I'm not even live or awake yet. It's the 18th of November, 2023. I just called myself this morning the zombie because I'm not alive. I'm not awake yet. Anyway, yeah, your video concerning about the Snoop Dogg incident caught on from everybody, from corporate and all the way down to India, independent media. He announced to the world that he's gonna, yeah, I gotta quit. He's not ready yet. No, no. That was just for show, dude. Yeah, no better than that. We've both been in. We both know you don't quit it unless you're ready for it. But you don't make a damn public scene about the damn thing in the first place. Come on. Back in the days, back in the 80s, you called it buds. They call it joints. Indica. Indica seeds out there. My brother knew more about terminology than I did. I don't remember. I don't forget that smell. Besides, out here in California, you kidding me? When they passed those marijuana allowance laws going on, I voted against the damn stuff. That's nasty. But out here, oh God, man, I need 24/7 air conditioning in this place just to keep the stuff out, or wear a mask all the time. Not just a flimsy fabric. I'm talking about full respirator so I can keep that crap out. It sucks. So yeah, I imagine that the algorithms are still on the hunt for something that they want to pick on people. You know what? This morning is even a better video because instead of talking about Mr. Snoop Doggy Dogg's feeble attempt of getting sober and clean, I did see it because we both know how it goes. He's not there yet. On the other YouTube channels I'm watching, on some of the space channels, they've got another launch of the Artemis engine system. SpaceX is at it again in Texas. They're trying for another two-stage launch without the thing blowing up like it did several months ago. It depressed the crap out of the people, but they got involved. They got their motivated, and now they're trying it again. Well, how many times did they actually test out the Apollo engines anyway? I mean, hell, Santa Susana Pass must have been sounding like it was a thunder zone during those 60s. And they had to test it out constantly just to make sure everything was working all right. So that was fun, but I missed all that fun. And they probably tested the engines out other places when they made the STS system. That was even more fun. We get to miss all that fun stuff, all the nice engines rattling stuff. But they did all the test flights out in Edwards Air Force Base when they came down for the aerodynamics, just to make sure that they got everything else working on that one. Besides, the rest of the finalizations of the shuttle were being done at Edwards Plant 42. So out here in Destiny, Wisconsin, scene. Why can't we just get the Enterprise? But Atlantis is okay. Atlantis is a workhorse. We still got her anyway. We still got her. But getting back to the old dog. Woof woof. Yeah, dude. This is up before. I'm constantly surrounded by this stuff. I tell you. Um, Past few years before they passed laws, the last election cycle a couple years back, we had marijuana shops popping up over here in Roseman like crazy. If they weren't popping up over Lancaster, getting their asses, they're getting their shops busted down. So was Palmdale, all those mom and pop areas, even apartment buildings were getting busted left and right. They have them on YouTube as well out there. And the abandoned buildings that we had were converted into pot shops all over the place. We have very few of them left. There was a place called Norm's Pub, right along Rosemont Boulevard. When you're coming from Edwards Air Force Base and you want to get a drink, that was the place to go. Relax, wine, play pool, watch TV. I didn't hear any fights. The last owners of this particular place, well, they sold. They sold out, moved out. So they took out all the damn marquees. They took out everything else that made the place Norm's Pub. And we had pot growers coming in there. Organic Health Solutions. Not licensed at all, anywhere. Not within the county, definitely not within the state. They had, I think last year, or the year before, they had a raid on the place. There was other places in Rosemont that they got raided. I tell you that living in this town, I'd seen changes going on, and I never did like the smell because we had marijuana all over the damn place. So when some of the spot shops were closed down, we had some air at least to breathe. Believe me, you ain't missing much on that stench. When my brother was using after the Navy, he had to smoke outside, not inside the house. He didn't want Ma to know about it. But the neighborhood knew about it. The neighborhood was on a hot spot on the LAPD Devonshire Division's map of trouble. We were one of the places that the LAPD kept an eye on. And we also had to make sure, well, actually, LAPD had to make sure that the stuff wasn't going through Kennedy High School, which was a hop, skip, and a jump. But we had it over there too. Actually, in the continuation school, more. Not to mention armament. Oh yeah, 80s were hopping. We had people selling weaponry. We had people selling drugs. We had a guy across the street from our house called Preacher Jim. He would do his sermons on Sundays and then sell you some lewds afterwards. Reds and whites. And blues, I think. Very patriotic. Very screwed up, too. Up one side of the street, closer to the freeway, we'd have your we'd drive you through drug there. As long as you can pay off the one bit, they're gonna schmuck over there. Eventually, ended himself in prison. I think he got himself killed. I'm not bleeding over him. The younger brother was just as much as a pain in the ass at school anyway. He still is a pain in the ass online. Talk about your cross street rivalry. Never did like the schmuck. He was an asshole. Anyway, uh, they did, and they got busted, but not by local, by feds. So the story went. So I don't know what the hell happened after the street shut down. I know that when we moved out of there, it was a sigh of relief. However, since my brother was already an addict at the time, he still needed a fix. And unfortunately, one of my friends had a brother who was a dealer. The tragedy about this one is a car accident that my friend's younger sister and his older brother perished. He was never the same. Little did I know about how much grief would be affecting a hell of a lot of people during those days. A lot. There was also a time my brother was going to get clean and sober. He had his misadventures outside the house after Ma and I threw his ass out. And about 3 months later, he came back as a skeleton. I kid you not. He looked like a walking stiff. And it took us a long time just to get him back. I'm surprised when he did a 72-hour stint over at Northridge, at Northridge Hospital, doing a hold on him. They didn't nurse him back to health or anything, but they thought his body, uh, he was stabilized enough to walk out on his own. But he still needed a hell of a lot of nourishment because he was sagging, dude. I'd never seen anybody sag. Not like that. That was just horrifying. And it was hard enough for me to accept him back. It was hard enough for me to accept him back. When I hear people are saying that they're going to get clean and sober, sometimes we had to call them out in the meeting halls. I mean, you're in there because you had enough. You got sick and tired of being sick and tired, and almost got to the point of being sick and tired, or else you're going to be part of the obituaries. I'd heard too many stories. I'd seen too many stories about that one. And it was scary. It was scary seeing some people walking in and they're looking like skeletons. My brother would hone in on them in the meeting halls. And he'd talk. He became at one time a circuit speaker in our neighborhood of California. If it was in about 2 or 3 mile range, he was going to do his, actually, 2 or 3 hour range. He would do his story. He'd go down into San Fernando Valley and talk. He'd go out in downtown LA or actually in the outlying suburbs. Hell, even Pacifica Club. He'd go out there in time to time. I didn't know that there are certain clubs out there that actually had dress codes. They had a dress code. My brother had to wear a suit and tie. In the other places we've been to that I recognize, when you do speak, or sometimes they do dress up or just dress as they are and talk to you about it. Now, I had been at different times sharing like crazy. I should have been a speaker, but I didn't. I guess nobody asked me to. My brother's story was a lot more tragic than mine, but that's all right. That's all right. At least the message was out there. At times I miss going back to a hall. There's no way for me to get over to a hall. I mean, most of the good meetings are at night, and there's no transportation at night. Transportation sucks, especially out here in Roseman and Kern. There was supposed to be one meeting out here, but hell, I can't even find the information on it now. Somewhere there's supposed to be. I still get a few people that go to meetings left and right. I gotta check with them on it. But I'm on an extreme end. I'm on an extreme end here. I mean, there's no taxi, there's no bus. And I already screwed over in Dollarite, and Dollarite only operates at certain times. And the meetings are beyond the times. So that kind of sucks. I still got my book. It's still in the cabinet. And I still have a liquor store 700 yards away. It's still a mini mart. I had been in there once. I've brought several months. Well, get screwed up in the damn head, and you got class going on, so some things actually do take a priority. Anyway, I only caught part of the video because I still wanted to maintain the watch on the SpaceX launch. when these guys actually had a launch going on and launched the Falcon up for the first time to get crew into the ISS station, man, my television at the time was actually working. I got a flat screen that still doesn't work right, so I'm using it for hanging up sunglasses, my hat, dog's leash, towel when it starts raining. I need something to hang them on anyway. I got it unplugged actually. I got it unplugged. So, uh, I'm just. It's gonna rain somewhat off and on out here, so I'm just trying to get myself ready for this thing. So that's all right. Other than that, we're dealing. We're dealing. We're coping, and we're not out there drinking and using. So that's a good thing right there. Meanwhile, schoolwork, politics, and God knows what else. Oh, speaking of which, CNN's going to be talking about Texas in a few minutes. Time index right now is 4:39 in the morning Pacific Standard Time. Central Time is 6:37 in the morning, according to the computer, which is the delay right now. So, uh, we have fun today. I'm gonna watch a launch. Let's see what happens.